but they also write in hieroglyph. The words that we put in that we think it means one thing, to them it means another. So the simple way to explain this is that all the little dots and quotations and boxed in and colons and all those little things, those are actual words in court to them. He sort of figured out the code on how to write to them and let them know that he's part of the people, he is sovereign, and he is not beholden to their codes and statutes. However, they have fooled the public. It's all fooled. What I'm trying to do is just in a simple way how to get into court and fight for yourself. Okay, so that we don't need lawyers. Back in the day, after the war of everything, right? They all came over here and started trying to sue all the Americans, and England had to write to them. I think it's like, where the hell's all the money? And they're like, everybody here knows the law. We can't sue any of them before. That's when they created public schools, and they needed to dumb it down.
One thing that I had noticed on the legalese thing, well, in somewhat this is what the chief talks about on his call. When I met with him, he's like, when you first become a TI, when you first notice that you're a TI and you feel like your life's in danger, you're kind of like freaking out and scared, and you're like, oh my God, you're just you sound like a crazy person because you're all hyped up. And one of the things that, I noticed that I kept saying when I tried to go to parties or whatever, that I was like, they're blocking me is the only word I could come up with. They're blocking me and must be saying I'm crazy or something. Well, he said, well, you don't say that. You say that you're being used by a false projection or as a false projection by narrative. And I'm like, well, I guess that's how you want to say it, but that's how they speak, so that's what they understand. Or that's how they speak, so that's how they understand.
Yeah. I came across this name too. It's Carl Lentz, and it's Carl with a K, Karl, Lentz, Lentz. He actually has videos online that teach people how to file a court case using common law court of record. This is thank you for bringing this up. And this omits judge, and instead it's done via jury. Eyes on your evidence and exhibit. Right. So Carl teaches how to simplify words, common law case, and as I said, omitting the judge and instead done by jury, and relies on your evidence and your exhibit.
The judge is the jury. What we call the judge, they're called magistrates. Okay, so they're there just to watch the ball go back and forth across the net, make sure everything's shit on both sides if they're playing by the rules. And so magistrates, they don't opinions, like I said before, right? It's only when the jury makes a ruling or a verdict that it becomes law. It's not like if you're not using someone else's precedent what someone else has already done, dating law. But if you're pulling in, hey, not only do I believe it, but this judge back in fucking 1920 said the same thing. Yeah, simplifying everything, using the least amount of words as possible, so that they can't mince words. They can't flip-flop things on you. Okay, what you said in your claim is that's it. I claim trespass upon my property, burglary. So-and-so just control my property, or not control, but administrate my property without right. This does cause harm, and I require immediate restoration of property. Just something simple. 10 paragraphs of the problem. So, yeah, he sort of just breaks it down to something very simple. If you want to show your evidence, you just put it in your, what do they call that? I don't even know all this court lingo, but word.
Exhibit? No.
Exhibits, exactly.
Exhibit. Mm-hmm.
Right. So if you want to say, this man's been robbing me, see Exhibit A, and you got a video of the guy walking out of your garage with your tire, right? The claim itself should only be 2 sentences, and then the evidence would be in your exhibit, and those could go forever, infinity. And if you wanted to use their case law, you just, I believe in parentheses or brackets, you put CF dot, go ahead with their stuff, and that's basically just saying, you guys believe this stuff too in your law. Trying to get this dude come work on his farm and help him out so he can get something built up so that he can actually just do videos and take care of his case. But right now, I'm not in a position to go up there for the first year.
You say at the beginning of when you were talking that you were hiring him or going to hire him, and would that be for the directed energy weapons situation, or is that some other personal situation?
Okay, so no, that was back when we were losing our estate. I wanted to try and hire him, but back then my grandfather was alive, so what he had told me was just drag your grandpa back to the court. The judge that, need all those people, whatever, and fired, but he wasn't of sound mind. So I couldn't do that. So yeah, here we are 10 years later or whatever. And I was talking with a buddy and I was telling him about Carl, and he goes, well, why did you call him again? Come to find out, he had just gotten out of jail because they came and tried to put a felony on him for stealing his animals. It's like they just poked, a sleeping giant, the way I looked at it. Kind of glad.
Speaking of mistreating animals, or what was that about? Do you know?
Yeah, so there are laws out there when you separate a kitten from its mother. If you can't find the mother within 24 hours, you have to euthanize the kitten. Came onto his property and took a bunch of animals, and 4 of them were little kittens, and they couldn't find the mother because obviously it's a wild cat, and she took off. So they went and euthanized the kittens, apparently, and charged him with a felony for abusing kittens or something. And he's like, you guys came on my property unlawfully, took my property, killed my property, and then charged me with a felony? He goes, yeah, that one.
Being PETA, or they being...
They being the county of Virginia. His farm wasn't the only one that got it, though. So there was a zoo down the street that just got its, approval from the federal government approval that they're doing fine with their animals. A week later, these people come in and kill their tiger, euthanize their tiger, and take a bunch of their animals. It's some other dude, some other farm that took their animals. So he's even thinking about doing a class action against these people. It's going to be a fun ride, and I'm just trying to get the word out. This guy is, I've been begging him for a long time to give me the tricks on how to. And he's like, nope, I'm not giving it to the people because if I do it, they're all just going to run out there and start suing the shit out of everybody, and then America's just going to fall apart. To the point where, you know what, these guys are trying to kill me. I better get this knowledge out to the people, otherwise it's just going to die with me. Well, it's sort of a shitty situation, but a good situation. Okay? He doesn't think he's a target. He actually laughs at this stuff. He thinks it's fucking crazy. And I agree, it is fucking crazy. At the same motherfucking time, it's real. Because I know it's been happening in my life for too long for me not to know the truth. And so for someone like him, I attribute him to someone like my brother, who called me crazy for 6 years until he actually saw it. And now he's like, holy fucking shit, Billy, I see him everywhere. And I was like, yep, I'm trying to tell you.
But one of the things that you tell them about the neighbor, though, or the guy that lives with them, I should say.
You talking about Carl?
Yeah, the guy the Marine that he just went to court and all that.
Oh yeah, so yeah, a guy was living on Carl's property. I guess they took some of his animals and tried to charge him, and he already went to court and won. Good for Carl, because now he can use that judge's opinion for his case. Same animal. He busted him lying. He's gonna win. He's gonna win like a landslide. I don't know if he's gonna get paid, but he's gonna get these charges dropped. I'll tell you that. So he's trying to build up, you know, a group of people that will support him in his endeavors, which is getting this out to the people. Okay. And so I know I had the court scared shitless with the paperwork, and it wasn't even right. Okay, but I could see their eyeball getting this big when I was asking questions. I was on the right path. I just didn't know how to fucking finish the day. This guy knows how to finish the day. The girl Ann on here? Have any questions about what I've been talking about?
No, I don't think so. What do you think your ideas for him to on with joining us with Targeted Justice?
Okay, so here's my catch-22 type. I'm stuck in the rock in the middle type thing. I think he's a target. The shit that we're telling him is way out there. He just doesn't. It's so hard to comprehend. You know that is.
Just go ahead and tell Billy that he thinks we're nuts.
Yeah, yeah, he does. And so somehow he trusts me, and he's willing to let me come to his farm and talk with him and learn from him and help him out. And my goal is to somehow get him to see all these little things that are happening in his life without accident. These are all, and we're gonna fuck up Carl, okay? There's just too many incidents. He's got the craziest stories, guys. I tell you, I want to throw up when he tells me these stories sometimes. Dealt with some of the craziest, weirdest, thickest people out there. They come from all over the world to try to get his help.
One thing that makes me think, because what was happening to me before I realized that I was a target, is that it was almost, it was constant chaos, constant people being brought into my life to cause me stress, not to help me, but to cause me, to literally, intentionally cause me stress. Cause me to have to, you know, to rethink. It was so weird though. I mean, it was just the weirdest things that were happening, and now it all makes sense, of course, because now I can nail it down to what it actually was. And it was, I mean, like, but when he started telling me about the people that are in Carl's lives, about, you know, people basically using him and just kind of like just being there not to help but to use, you know, it sounds just like exactly what I was going through.
And so that's another issue is, you know, he has been used, like TIs get used. So he's tainted, right? Like, why should I trust these people? Why should I, well, you know, when he was talking about your story, he's like, how do I know she didn't just Google how to make a bomb and then try to make one? And then, you know what I mean? But that's where his mind goes.
I hear you, and that makes more sense, okay? But why would I do that?
This dude, for 100%, I bet my left nut, right one too, that this guy for sure is a target and is being messed with. I know it. Just like a lot of them out there, like my brother for 6 years. You know, I would sit over his bed, put my hands over his legs, and I could feel the energy coming up through the floor. Same thing that happens to me. And he just wouldn't believe it, couldn't believe it, right? What do you mean the neighbors are shooting weapons at me? Okay. Yes, Bubba, that's what they're doing. They're getting paid. They're just a nice little Mexican family. Yeah, I know. And they're broke, and they're making a lot of money to do this. So there's shitty people out there that are doing this.
One of the things that really didn't make sense is, and this is literally days prior to me finding out that I was a target. I I went over to my neighbor's house. Now I've known these people the guy for like 12 years, and then he got married to this girl, and I was kind of went to their wedding, and had had the whole little friendship thing going on. Not real tight, but tight enough to be able to call him and ask him if he could come and help me with a car that was needing a alternator or something like that, because he was mechanically inclined. And I thought these people were actually going to help me, and I was like, this girl's in my house, and I just caught her trying to freaking poison me, and can I get out of here? They're like,
Oh my God.
you just come on to our house and you can stay down there a couple of nights. And I'm like, oh shoot, thank the Lord, I'm so glad to find somebody to help me. I get down there, and literally I had actually talked them into buying a store right up the road, and they had a restaurant, and they had it for like 3 years. And I'm sitting on the couch with her, and the girl looks over at me and she says, I think we're just going to go ahead and close the store in a couple of days. She gets on Facebook, announces that they're closing the neighborhood restaurant, and there's not any other place to eat within 15 miles of this place. And she goes on Facebook and says, we're closing down in a couple of days. Have a nice life, that kind of thing. And I'm like, that was real weird. I said, just all of a sudden, you're just going to just decide, to close down a 3-year-old. Well, I mean, it's actually been there for a long, long, long time, but, they bought it. It was just the strangest thing. And it was like, that was one of the strangest things. That's all I want to say. It just strange events, like that tipped me off that something was not quite right.
Yeah. That Carl Lentz. I was listening to a few of his videos. He's very interesting, and it seems like he has a real knack for what he's teaching. And it would be interesting to. You can hire him actually. You can hire him to help you formulate your case. I think it's $1,000 start. I don't know how long he'll work with you for $1,000, but I think it's just an initial $1,000 for him to start the conversation.
What we're trying to create now is actually a podcast for him, so that nobody has to pay $1,000. But if you could pay to be a member, or pay by the hour, or something simple, right? So would you pay him $6 an hour to sit there and listen to him? Mm-hmm. And so we're trying to create something to where the more people that are involved, the less we have to charge, so that he still gets paid for his stuff. He's had a lot of people burning. This man's been doing this for a long time, and he's had a lot of people say, hey, I'll do this for you, I'll do that for you. They're stealing the money. They're not doing any of the videos they said they would do. They're just ruining it too bad. Okay, and so out on a limb saying I can get close to him and help him, but he's got me at arm's distance, big time.
And how successful has he been in his lawsuit?
Very successful. I mean, look, this man, I don't know if you know how he got started, but they took his kids, okay? And so
I did read that.
Yeah, for many, many years, I think it was 5, 6 years, whatever, he paid every penny he had, he sold whatever he could to keep these lawyers going to get his kids back, and he never got them back. And so at the end of it, he said, screw it, I'm going to go learn law myself, but I'm going to start in the caveman days. So he went back to like the 1500s or something and just started reading law all the way up. And then when he got to the 1800s, he goes, I don't need to read anymore. I don't need to read one more book. He goes, I know the law. And that's how he operates, just like our forefathers, just like they operated, right? If you do harm to man or property, you owe. If you didn't, you don't.
Well, how can we move this? How can we move this forward and maybe even get, if Anna's involved if Anna's interested, hearing about strategy how can we move this forward a little bit?
What's going to be easiest is, like I said, he just got out of jail. He's in the middle of a case, so I don't even think asking him to even look at the targeted justice case is even worth it. For one, I've already read it and tell you from what my knowledge is, it's, it is what it is. I'm not going to badmouth it, but it's just your typical lawyer attack, okay? And so the problem that I see is they're operating in their jurisdiction. They're operating in their, maritime law.
Well, maybe when he really finds out, what this is about and how, I mean, just if he looks at the evidences and stuff, I think that we can convince him, that it's a worthwhile cause to, to be involved in. But one of the things about Anna that, I think that she's wanting to take these 18 cases, make a case for us to get started with, and then, and I think from what I understood, now I could be completely wrong, and Tranquility might know better than I, but she said that once the road is paved, that we would be able to do our own, on our own. She said that there's going to be a lot of she said there's going to be a lot of ambulance chasers after us, but we won't have to use them because there's already going to be a road already paved.
Let's put it into context what she meant, because what she meant was a large portion of that list that are labeled number 3 and number 4 on the domestic terrorist watch list, and their goal is to get those 2 sections taken off. Okay, so which is basically what TIs are. Okay,
exactly.
And so if they can get that taken off, you're going to see a lot of lawyers hopping on the bandwagon going, wait a minute, these guys are worth money. And so you're going to be able to get a lawyer, and they're probably going to win in court, and it's going to be no problem. On the other side, let's just say they don't win, and they don't get that taken off. I'm looking at backup number 2 over here, number 1, which is Carl. I think that when he gets a firm grasp of really what the government's doing it, how they're doing it, he'll be able to chop it up and support us in a much better way. Being now is he's dealing with a case, and so I want to support him in his case. I want him to make these videos for us so that we can see how he's doing it, step by step by step. Understand, guys, property is everything. The government was created to protect man and property, period. Constitution, that piece of paper, that doesn't give you rights.
And you need to verify what not only because I've heard him speak that anything can be your property, your kids, your body.
What I was going to get into is that document protects your God-given rights, your natural rights as a human on this earth. Okay, and so by having a document, if you want to utilize that in court, you can, but it's not really giving you your protection, right? However, those rights our forefathers put in there cannot be messed with. I read you that thing earlier, the Virginia Article 1, Section 2 is talking about the people have the power, and that's it. There is no question. And that magistrates and trustees are our servants. And so there's not many people that are going to do the court system like he's getting ready to do, and this is a golden opportunity for us to watch him do it. And so knowing what I know and knowing what Carl's getting ready to do, I'm just trying to inform the TI community, hey, that's great that Anna's doing what they're doing, and I pray that they get all of that handled, okay? But if they don't, keep learning ourselves how we're protected. Rights are being violated, how the Congress has already admitted in Congress that the FBI is interfering with our First and Fourth Amendment right. We already can start suing, okay? I think if we learn how to do our paperwork properly and learn how to behave in court and learn how to say certain things certain ways in court without shooting ourselves in the foot, I think we're going to be golden. And what Sherry was touching on is about property. You know, property is everything you claim is property. Charity, you're my property.
Right.
If you agree that you're my property, then guess what? When you go to jail, I can go make a claim for property. And it's just like anybody else in here. If you claim I'm your property and something's being done wrong to me, you can go and claim whatever you want to claim about your property. And now your hopes, your dreams, your inventions, it's all property, right? Your kids, those are not your children, those are property. You bled, sweat, and tears for those things. Okay, the dollars
Right.
that you earn at work, that's your property. And so he's trying to just sort of shake people up and go, you guys, quit thinking in the way they think. Start looking at what's really happening. And what's really happening is they've somehow managed to fool the public into thinking that their codes and statutes and policies and rules apply to man. They don't. If I'm in public, yeah, I have a contract with the public to behave a certain way. But if I'm in my home, not causing any harm to anybody, nobody has a right to do anything. And what they did to him was they came on his land, they took his animals, they killed some of them, hit him with a felony. So, like I said, guys, this is going to be real fun to watch. He showed me already. I already know he won. He showed me. I already know. But I would love for the community to be able to watch him go through this. Right now,
right now, if he could actually, you can actually pinpoint where you can see where the targeting is coming from. You can actually, have the TI community help him.
That's okay. So that's another thing. Not only does he want to support the community, he wants the community to support him, right? So imagine if everybody learns how to do what he does, and then in the future he goes to jail, and now you got 10,000 people writing, I require my property immediate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just bombarding the court, saying you better get that man out of jail, or we're going to come take your home.
That's right.
And so what he's looking for is to build a group of people that are willing to fight. Everybody he teaches this stuff, they go, they fix their problems, and what do? They turn around and bitch out and say, I don't want to help nobody else. My problems are solved. I'm good. So for years, he's going around the country teaching people how to get out of their problems. And as soon as they get out of their problems, they just, I'm not going to go help others. If there's other dads in jail because of some false claim, I'm not going to help them. He's sort of painted in that way. He's real reluctant to help people. Like, I just want to make videos, and they can follow the videos, and I don't have to spend 10 hours talking to them about some crazy shit. Another thing I want to point out, I don't know if you're recording this, but the one of the main things that's going to help...
The recording has started.
Sorry.
One of the main things that's going to help TIs in court is a timeline. Being able to present a jury a timeline of events with solid evidence that these are happening. Who cares what the other side said? The court and bring your facts into the jury properly, and you're in a court of record, a common law court of record. If we just start bombarding these courthouses with this, I'm telling you guys, we're going to get movement. Sheriff Court, I get it. It's a horrible place to be in. I get sick to my stomach just thinking about it. You know what? I'm willing to go in there and present myself as a man.
I actually have a question. I have a question for Tranquility, and they just sent out an email regarding the 3-minute videos that they want from us. Do you happen to know? I mean, I kind of know what that would be about, but exactly do you say in 3 minutes? I mean, what is your suggestions?
I would assume they're wanting you to tell a little bit about your targeting, your name, where you're from, and possibly what kind of targeting you're experiencing.
Basically it. Don't really go into the
That's all
story.
that, I mean, I wasn't at their meeting when they discussed that,
Oh.
that's what they were going to do, but it sounds like they're looking for testimonial videos, and they're going to put those on their YouTube.
Got it. Well, I mean, and that's another good thing for all of us to be, because when you refer people and say, look, there's like, I don't know how many, Trent Kelly, you can tell us exactly, or not exactly probably, but an estimate of, the base of, how many people are involved in TI, or not TI, well, TI events and I guess targeted justice.
Targeted Justice has like 11,000 subscribers right now that they're communicating with daily. So they have a
Wow.
pretty large base of targeted individuals that they reach out to. If by chance you go to Devin's calls tomorrow, maybe you can join and you can find out a little bit more about what she's looking for in the videos. And Devin's call is at 10 o'clock tomorrow. And again, Anna Toledo will be the guest on her call doing lawsuit updates and a Q&A session.
So yeah, hopefully it's good news. I'm praying it is, but because of all the reforms I did see on the House committee this week, they were doing reforms to the 702, and it was a 6657. That one of the reforms was, and I don't know if they passed or any of that. I don't know what they actually agreed to, but so they are working on the reforms to the 702. I guess because they don't want it to lapse and to expire on the 31st of December. The things that I had heard that I think it was Brett Biggs, the Congressman Biggs, he put that he that he would like if they're going to surveil us, if they're going to come and knock on our door, or whatever, they can't do anything to an American citizen unless they have a warrant. Well, I see a problem with that because a lot of, if you want them to investigate, then that keeps them from investigating the people that are actually targeting you, that kind of thing. I don't know. I'm just throwing out examples of it. I think that going back and forth, and Gates brought up a really good point that, that there's a lot of holes in this thing, and it just really protects the feds. So I don't think they're trying to get rid of it. I just think they're trying to reform it and put in referendums in it on, having just reforming it and adding stipulations to it.
You know why they're reforming
Hey, did you hear? Oh, go ahead.
I saw an interview with the lady that was doing, she was on the board for Section 702, the reform. We have to reform this because right now it interferes with their Fourth Amendment rights. That's where I was saying it already is affecting us, and we can already sue these guys. She said it live TV, right? And so that's same thing with the Hawley, and there's all these people in Congress that are stating out loud, Mike Johnson, that the federal government is guilty.
Yeah, it's probably hard to see
this.
who is who
So
because
I
I'm
think you
using
don't go
my
after 'em for doing
phone
that.
to go
We
live
can go after 'em for our First
from
Amendment,
viewing off of another
hacking, all
phone
the
I have in my
ghosting, all the
home.
Well, if you think
If
about
I
it, I
try
don't
to
know how
move the
many people in
phone,
Tranquility
it
probably
probably
knows
gets
a lot
clearer.
better
I
than
can
me,
try doing that.
but let's just say out of those 11,000 people, half of them has gone to the police and they didn't do a damn thing, and they said they were crazy, or they acted, or they pretended they're crazy. Just by them not letting them make a report, and by them not doing their job and doing an investigation into what they are telling them, like I'm hacked and these people are doing, that's easily found that you're being hacked. But by them not doing that, they're putting your life at risk, for one, but they're also violating your civil rights.
Yeah. And so what Carl would say about that is if the sheriff won't put it in, then you go above him. And if they won't put it in, then you go above them. And then you...
How far do you go? You go all the way to the FBI that's already hooked up to it?
No, you go to the department, whatever the main prosecutor of the... I forget what the attorney is.
Attorney General?
Yeah, the Attorney General. You would go to him and say, why are these people derelict in their duties?
I have done.
Am I not the
Okay,
people? Do I
got it.
not have a
Thank
right
you.
to make
If anybody have
a
questions
complaint or a
for the
claim? Aren't
conference,
these
if you
people
type it
supposed to be
here, I will
servants
verbally
and
say it to
do
them.
their
Right
jobs?
now, I'm just
And so
listening
you
in.
just
They're
keep
talking
taking it
about
up and
different
taking it up until,
scenarios.
you know,
This one
you
guy's
eventually.
talking about his friend who's a
Yeah.
target, but
There's
he's not
probably little
identifying as a target.
keywords
So
or
he's trying to
something
get
that
his
when
friend to
a targeted
understand
individual
he's a
goes to the
target as
police or
well.
goes up above them, or because I'm not saying all of them, but there are people that are going on and they know they're going to have to do their duties in protecting this information and protecting their guys and their gang and their everything. But what I'm trying to say is, like I said, there's probably some key words that they look at to tell if you are being targeted by that gang.
Sure, we're on an app. They got the R&M, right? So they already know what you're thinking. Video of me leaving here, I was going to go down to the police station to ask them, you know, how do you do a citizen's arrest? Myself leaving here because as soon as I walked out of the house, I was getting hit so hard. So I just started filming, and I saw a convoy of cars literally stalking me, and I videoed it.
Well, I believe you because I saw you. I saw that when you went outside that night when we were on that call, he was on a video, and I could see actually stalking him. Crazy. I mean, it's not. I understand it, but I mean, it was very obvious.
Sometimes, you know, when I'm getting hit real hard, it's very easy for me to record. These are the types of things that I can easily point out the community harassment.
Right.
The hacking, my passwords changing, emails not going out, emails not coming in, text messages from friends, my family, that they're not getting them. You know, yesterday I sent my daughter something. It said, many old computers laying around at work, bring them home. Went to hit send, the word printer changed to computer. I just wrote the word printer under it, so she understood it was a printer, not a computer I was looking for. Well, all she got was the word printer. And so she wrote back question mark. And then I went on back, right? And we got into this whole conversation because she didn't know what the hell I was talking about because she didn't get the first part of the text. See, that's evidence. This is a brand new Apple i14. There's no reason why my text message should not be going out or coming in.
I have a 13, a brand new 13, and has hardly anything on it. It says my storage is full.
Right.
Exactly. That's evidence. And so
I have so much. Well, in Shiloh Taylor, I went on her website, and then on the if you scroll down, there's all kinds of forms. It's a very informative site, very, very well done. And she had forms on there that you can actually click on and fill out and, you know, send it to whoever. And I went to click on one of the links, and it said it was a whistleblower link for, and I clicked on it, and it said your IP address this IP address is not valid. So I was like, the IP address. But then when she was giving us instruction, Amy was giving us instruction the other night on Derek's call, that I actually went to those sites that she wanted us to go to and searched up the IP addresses that were showing up on my stuff. And most of them, one of them showed it was mine, but all the rest of the 6 that I had, showed that it said private mass something. Can't remember. I took a picture of it, but I'm thinking, really? Because I don't think that's normal. And I was going to call Amy and ask her, but yeah, there's just so much. It's every day. There's just so much that comes in that shows me that, you know, I'm being controlled.
You know, one thing I started doing this week, one of my TI friends introduced this video to me. The guy's name is, he was a security industry specialist. Justin Carter. Have you guys heard of this guy?
No, but Brian Kofron worked for the same company, the CIS specialist.
Well, are you talking about? Is she talking about CIS specialist?
Yeah, or CIS? Yeah. Security industry specialist, Brian Kofron.
No. Cognitive investigation solutions. Services.
Yeah,
Is that who you're talking about?
said was that this video that this man made, his name is, he goes by the name of Justin Carter. Whether that's his real name or not, I don't know. But he's a security industry specialist, and he works for a private security company in Seattle, Washington. So anyway, he has made it's about an hour and a half long, but describing what, so he's a whistleblower now, describing, what he was assigned to do and oversee. And so he's just disgusted and irate about this. And so he was sharing what he saw and what this program is, and yada yada yada. And so what I started doing, I've been stalked now since it started in 2014, but I didn't realize it actually could have started even before then. But anyway, it's been a long time, and I thought it took us a long time to figure out what the heck this was. So it's been almost 2 years now since I've understood that this is actually directed energy weapons. And so what I finally started doing was really sitting down and seeing what the technology is, so that I can sound intelligent, and an opportunity to talk about it with, a friend.
There we go.
Or,
I don't know why it went off, but yeah, every day
because I have had that opportunity.
It gets easier, but every day is somebody's going to be following somebody.
A family relationship situation. But if anybody's interested, he gives, it took me a while I kind of stopped and started the video so I could really kind of verbatim get the information so that I was clear about what this all is. But better about it, it kind of empowered me to have this information so that I can, better understand it. So if anybody's interested, so I Googled the TI friend of mine who sent me the video. I'm just pulling it up now, and let's see. Justin Carter exposes targeted individual industry target. What is it? If you Google Justin Carter, is targeted industry, it should come up on that. Gang stalking, and it for me it was empowering so that I have understanding of what I'm talking about, because it's also crazy. And sometimes to try to have a conversation with somebody when I'm really not clear what I'm talking about, I sound, it's tough.
Well, I completely sound retarded, so.
Yeah, so it's tough. So I have a better handle on this information now, thanks to this video.
Have you had a chance to look at CIS info? Tech, TECH.info.
Yes, I have.
Is that better than that one?
To remember, my memory is so shot now, like my short-term memory. It's another reason why I need to kind of write things down. But
that one is that is the best site I've ever seen when it comes to, he actually goes into the FBI office and busts them.
Yeah, that's right. Yes. Yeah,
he did.
It's very extensive, his website. Yes. And I'm trying to think of his name. It's Ryan Michelle, I think it is, right?
Right, correct. Mm-hmm.
Right, Ryan Michelle. And so he's very interesting, that fella. And he's out in Arizona.
So this guy Justin,
very extensive. It was interesting because one of his videos, some disparaging things to say about targeted justice. I didn't know what to think about that.
Oh, I didn't see that.
There's a lot of information there, but maybe he's just mistaken. Well, yeah.
But you know how people are when they feel like they want to be the king of all they want to be the first one to found stuff. Yeah, yeah. It's just
No, that could,
a
hopefully
rival.
we could all work together, right?
Is it right? And that's the problem. That's what I see. That's where I see that this thing is so. It needs to be where people aren't so divided, and the things that I see that are dividing this group is the religious beliefs, as well as not only the religious beliefs, but I don't know, like seniority or something. I have no idea, but y'all, we're all being targeted, regardless if we're Christian or not. You know, we want it to stop. That's our goal. And the people that are doing this, the evil ones, they believe differently, but they're all together because they have one goal: to create evil.
I have a quick question. Hi, my name is Enough is Enough. I was wondering, are there any
Yeah,
similarities to how anybody got listed?
I'm kind of new to the conference call, so I
Me
haven't,
too.
I'm not, I haven't experienced all that, but, in terms of some, any kind of, dissension between
I don't know if they can
religion
hear
or
me.
anything,
I'm
so
trying
I
to
don't
ask a
know.
question.
But,
Well, what
but
I'm saying
anyway,
is,
so I
I
just
see
share
if
that
we
with
all could
everybody
join together,
because that
the
really
point
helped empower me.
Hi,
I'm
somebody
making
stated,
is that
please look
we
up.
can all join together, regardless if we have
I don't
targeted
know if they can
justice or
hear me. I
CSI or
don't know
whatever the
what.
heck that is. Um, if we could
Thank you,
all
Gold
join
Crown.
together,
I'm
we're
trying
going
to
to be
give them
more
the
powerful.
information, but I don't.
In
I
the
put unmute, but
numbers are what's the
I'm not
power
chiming
behind
in.
everything.
Sure.
Did come on or Amy? We're going to try to come on. We can have. It's blocking them from coming on. Have you ever had that? Has people ever had that problem, Tranquility?
I think Carl ever hopped on here. We only got 10 people on here, and
Neither.
What's that?
And Amy, she didn't either.
I got some more calls tonight.
Is a
Yeah.
So when you
call.
say Carl, was that going to be? Carl, was that going to be? What Carl are we talking about?
Carl Lynn.
Wow, he was going to come on tonight?
And I was looking for the.
Well, yeah, I've been
Oh,
trying
wow.
to text his ass, but he's not answering.
Yes, I'm
So
trying to determine
And I also had a
how
lady
did we
that
get put on
that
this
I just
list.
got off the
Like
phone
that's
with
why
her
I'm trying to
10 minutes
connect
prior
to
to
more
my show
TIs. Like,
starting, or our show
are we
starting.
similar?
But
Did we do similar
and she was a
things to
licensed
put us on a
psychotherapist that
list?
is
Like, was you an
actually
activist? Was it a lawsuit?
a TI.
Mine's is in the
So,
middle of
and a big one.
activism and a lawsuit.
She's wanting to get involved in helping us, and
I put Carl's new website up there. It's called the loresociety.com or folkloresociety.com.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to hear something trippy, go look up what folklore means. That's the real law that we go by.
Okay, I'm gonna look that information up and then I'll try to create a video on it. I'm gonna take notes and write that down. Is it pronounced Dr. Chevy? Savvy?
But
It's not.
yeah, folklore.
Sevilla. I'm
That's
sorry
law.
if I'm pronouncing it wrong, but I'll look it up.
Well,
Sevilla.
I've reached out to a few people today. I've been, when I'm not doing my thing, I'm really trying to help the community in itself and reaching out and saying, look, trying to expose it, with the media. I've been reaching out to the media. And
right, well, I don't know if I said it enough. Let's put our timelines together. That's something that Carl stressed more than anything was have a timeline. Don't sound crazy when you talk to somebody. Have a document in front of you that takes you through the process so that you don't sound cuckoo. And so what I want to say to all the guys is let's start getting our timelines together. Okay?
Hey, I just wanted to say, I know you can see, but that is my title.
The title?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I
my
heard that
cousin
too.
says,
When you're
that's not, I
isolated,
said,
they
that's my,
target you
that was my
more
outline when I first started here.
because
When I
they
first
feel
came here, it was
like
like in
nobody's
March or
gonna
whatever.
care
And
anyways, but
it
keep
just
fighting
kept going on. And my
because
cousin
you
said, you're
are
going to need the whole
somebody.
living room. And then when I said, I said, that's my outline. My cousin's daughter goes, that's not an outline. That's a title. It's
I
terrible.
didn't see it. Was it just a mirror? What was that?
Oh, no.
This session is no longer being recorded.
Oh,
The recording has started.
I accidentally hit the record button. It's behind, I put it on top of it, the picture around. You see it?
All you can see is the Christmas tree. Oh, there you go. Now you're seeing something.
Yeah, I noticed that
Little
too,
snack.
that the targeting will stop around certain
What
people
is that?
because they don't want
I can't see it.
them to be a
I
witness,
couldn't see that
or it's
before either.
because they are implemented in your targeting, so they're the witness.
That's the
So
title.
they don't need other people to target when you got
There's
What?
a,
your so-called
eraser board.
friend or family member with you that's involved in your targeting. So it does stop when you're around certain people.
I'm just hoping it is erasable, ink. So I'm really hoping it actually comes off the wall, so I don't have to paint it.
I'll be right back.
We're on this call right now.
Oh, like 9. Let me see. Oh,
Thank you.
10, 11.
Shiva.
Sorry, 11. Hi, Pan. I would say Ty. Tandy.
All right,
Mm.
everybody. Hi, Constance. Hi, everyone.
Hi, Constance. I guess Steve's running the Chief show tonight. I don't know what time it is. What time is it? But got it. I can't. I normally go off my clock on my computer, but it's not popping up. So they're having a special guest on the Chief's call tonight, and it's going to be a psychotherapist, I believe a psychologist or something. So he said I could share it at the end of the call. Hoping that I would have Amy come on, but I'll try to get her. It was really last minute. When I was speaking with her, I literally asked her within 20 minutes, and she was having company come over. So we can try to get together with her. Probably next week we'll have her on.
I don't know what it means when
But
it says
it was
message
kind of like a surprise
retracted.
guest
I didn't do
too,
that.
as well. With Billy
I
called
don't
me
know if
earlier
they're
and said that he
deleting
was gonna get,
messages. I don't even
call to
have
come.
a
He didn't.
person
He didn't come. He didn't
typing
keep
or
his
deleting
word, so I'm gonna let
messages.
him know.
Well, I mean, we can schedule it for next week, and so we'll be able to be more prepared for it and everything. And if you guys that are on here right now want to come next week and have some questions for him, and watch a couple of his videos and kind of get an idea of what he's about and what he does, then if you're in need of someone like him, it might be a good idea to. I think it'd be a good idea for all of us, especially the ones that aren't the 18 that are going to court, because we're going to need to know. It's a good thing to know after this thing is done that it would actually help us as individuals.
Oh,
to
smart.
go
I
towards
understand.
getting
Thank you.
our own lawsuits.
I think that's what Anna Toledo was talking about, is that point guys are going to have to grab the bull by the horns. And so, I think by having really tight cases and being able to share them in the community and get, input, that's pretty much how Carl does it, right? They bring up a problem, and then you got a bunch of smart dudes looking at the same problem, and then they come up with a solution, and bam. And so it should be pretty much the same thing we're doing, is just putting our heads together. We're not all going to get fixed at once, but the more that we help these easier cases by getting an opinion from a judge or a jury, then we can now use those in our cases moving forward. And the more that you have, right, so now you slap on 3 or 4 judges' opinions, and so then you slap on another 20, and you could just go on and on. You probably wouldn't have to do that, but you could. Not only do I believe it, but your justices believe it as well. So
did you sign up for the lawsuit for the CIS on his end?
Yeah, for anybody's lawsuit, I'm going to create my own claim. That's how I'm going to proceed. And I know it's probably crazy for people to think like that, but it's very simple. And like I said, you'd have to study Carl's stuff for a while to get it in your knower to know that this is the right stuff.
Well, I mean, really, if you think about it, I mean, let them handle the government.
If anybody from
goes through
my YouTube channel that want to ever do their own live like they are doing, let me know. I can always start one and do like the interview style where we can communicate.
$13 megaphone,
or even if you want to do just a video of testifying your story with you and I will do the same thing because I told my story more than once.
So
I just want more people to back me up with their story so people don't think I'm just making all this stuff up. So please feel free to contact me on my page. It should have my information on any of the comments or on my page. It tells you my address. You just put at. It's enough at 3. I think it's 347, something like that. I'll make sure I put that information somewhere.
And we'll begin to create structures in your body, basically. And so what we get is this R&M, where they're reading our thoughts, and then they have, obviously, the community harassment, they have the energy weapons, and they have the nanotechnology. So the people that feel their body heating up in areas, this is
true. A lot of targeted individuals I come across are very independent, very willing to stand alone, very willing to go against the grain, to do the right thing, and they don't like that. Even in the workplace,
and so
I come to be a person that's like, if this is not right, I'm not doing it. And when I talk to other TIs, it's the same thing where they're like out for justice for all,
is a well-known fact.
So I do think that's a lot of things because they don't want us to have democracy. So the ones that are strong enough to create democracy, they got to get rid of them. Like the ones where they can just say, oh, you need to get this in order to do this. You look, it was a test during the C-19 phase. Those people that ran the first time they told them to do something, they went to go do it. Unfortunately, those are the people they want around. They don't want people that's going to question everything. They want people to just do as I say. Don't ask no questions. And if you're a person that asks too many questions, I think you're going to be listed regardless. They got to get you out of the way so that you want to create no followers.
The idea is to come in courtroom with proper paperwork that's going to get you through court so that it doesn't look weird.
Right. They just want us to shut up. That's it, and that's all. Like when he was a kid, the seen and not heard phase. I see you, but I can't hear nothing you're saying.
I really do. I think that the way he's going to lay it out for people in these coming months, I guess he's got court again in January. So I'm real curious to see what they do. I mean, he sent me something today that he sent his lawyer. That alone should get him to drop the case. But again, he says they probably won't even look at it. They don't even know what I'm talking about. And so for him, he's just letting the billable days pile up, right? So what he says is, okay, you came and took my property, tried to charge me $4,000 a day, $4,500 a day to keep all of his animals up every day. So what he did was he turned around and sent them a bill for $4,000 a day for keeping his property. Every day his property was not with him. And yeah, you want to use my property? Fine, but I'm going to charge you $4,000 a day for it.
Right.
And so that's how he's turning it around on them. So
I think Deb wanted to say something.
Kind of scamdemic. Yeah, me too. I was targeted beforehand, but I was in the early stages, like learning about it and still dealing with the headache of being targeted. Now I have more mind control and more emotional control.
And I'd love to hear him on one of these programs and maybe us creating some kind of a think tank so that we can try to formulate a lawsuit of our own to, somebody that wants to do an individual lawsuit to. I hope that doesn't conflict with what just as long as I guess it doesn't conflict with what Targeted Justice is doing.
I want people to try to understand. Okay, I'm not reinventing the wheel with Carl. We're not trying to create some super, get out of jail free card or, super lawsuit. What we're trying to get everybody to understand is that already in Congress, they've already stated that the federal government has, excuse me, I've been sick for like a week. The federal government already has admitted are interfering with our First and Fourth Amendment rights. Going to get everybody billions of dollars? Probably not. Is it going to get you some money in your pocket? Probably. Well, Carl's already for a case. What I think the best thing for people to do is to start putting their timelines together so that it's not wishy-washy. You don't want to bring no maybes to court. Okay, you just want to bring the facts that you can prove that you know, and we'll work on it from there. But what's going to happen is Carl is starting his case from zero right now, walking us through it. Okay, he's going to walk us through how he does everything, and you can apply what he's doing to your case. Now, maybe somebody didn't come and steal your ducks and your dogs, but they definitely came on your property and sabotaged your computer and, moved your stuff around and broke
Forced me out of my home.
Steal your tires, flatten your tires. Okay, so these rules still apply. They're just different property.
Okay, my email address. I don't know if it's gonna let me type it in. I don't know how to work live. I don't do live. Let me see if I can type it here.
Get into XYZ element of
let me see.
You guys just would be lost. So you need to understand the basics.
Save,
and
highlight,
so a lot of people don't even understand their
rights. Well, it's if you're ready, it's MAR30.me@gmail.com.
And so what Carl's
MAR30.me@gmail.com.
This is happening.
Or hit me up in the comment box on his live. I'm gonna put it on his live. I'm gonna keep it on my page and I'll put it in the comment section. Because then maybe we could, I can, even if you tell your story, I can verbally read it, or we can try to do a live. I did a live with one of my friends before to tell her story. It was kind of difficult doing it, but we figured it out. The more I use live, the more I can probably start doing live so that we can have conferences and communicate as well.
You're not going to need it at that point. You just do it yourself.
Right. You should be able to, what I'm trying to bring to the...
I'm going to be on this live probably like 5 more minutes because I already been here for an hour with the podcast in the background. And then I'll keep checking with you guys soon, if not later on this evening, with more videos that I find, or in the morning.
Gets you out of jail, or tells you how things really work in the court system. And you hear him, you go, "Oh my God, is he serious?" And he is. He knows this stuff, and to an umpteenth level. And so when I got on the calls originally, all I would hear is what we all usually talk about, is how they screwed us over. And past that now, we need to start offense. We need to start understanding that not only do we believe this is wrong, but Congress is starting to believe it. The people are starting to believe it. And we have this golden opportunity to watch the greatest constitutional ever lived walk through court in our lifetime. Put it on video. He's willing to do phone calls, what he would like. Set up a podcast where you guys could, donate or just buy a subscription and get all the support you need. Live online, he's giving, he's going to take this guy. He talked to me for 16 hours straight, guys. I fell asleep. That's why we had to stop, because he was spitting out knowledge, and I couldn't stop listening. I just can't.
So we're going to pique everybody's interest we're going to get him on next week, hopefully. Does anybody else have any questions?
Well,
I mean,
hold on. I wanted to talk to Tranquility about that because
Okay.
I actually want to set up a daily thing with him, guys. I'm speaking to him every morning at 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, my time.
well, use this platform. Use the
Well,
Target
this is
You
what I'm
platform.
saying. I've been trying to get a hold of Tranquility so that I can get one of these calls so that I can actually, when he comes on, I can say, Carl, just call this number. We'll talk on here.
Well, I
And
mean,
actually record this stuff, what we're talking about.
right. And I can give you the controls to be able to do that. But
No.
don't you
I
think
want to
it'd be
set
great?
up a whole different one. We don't. Your time is not a good time. I don't want your time. I want a time that works.
We can change the time. I just didn't want to get in on Wednesday nights. I didn't want to get on. I was just throwing out of time, to be completely honest. But I didn't want to step on any toes.
Let's just keep this one. We're going to create a new
You're
one.
welcome. My goal is
he
to
threw
try
out
to
some
get the more
ideas
information
for the
out
name.
because I've been going
And
through
because
this
it
too
has to do
long
with some legal
for
lawful stuff.
so
Okay.
And I kind of
limited
laughed at
of
it at
people
first, but
not
then I looked up what he
seeing what's
said,
happening
and
or
what he
not
said
believing what's
was,
happening. So it's
we're going to
bothering me like, okay, I'm surrounded
targeted
by
individuals, redo.
20, 10, 15 people,
Redo?
and
What
I'm
the
the
hell is
only
a redo?
one that
And I went
sees
and
what's
looked it up.
happening that's in my
Redo the
family or
fight.
circle of friends.
And I was like,
So
whoa.
when I say it, I gotta
This
say, well, I
guy's
gotta
like,
show proof
he's already
that I'm
thinking
not the
for
only
us.
one this is
Trust me.
happening
Okay,
to.
cool.
So
Yeah, Tracy,
anytime I
can
get
can
any
walk you through that.
information,
And
my
then,
goal is to share it.
and I just didn't want to step on any toes, because I know that there's the Chiefs call, and I didn't want to take
What
away
I'm
from
saying is,
anybody.
guys,
All right,
call
so
starts
I'm
at
gonna
8 in the
end their
morning,
live, you
and I go
guys.
till 9.
I'm gonna end their live because I don't know what they was saying, but I appreciate you guys for tuning in. A lot of them know each other already, so they're starting off where they left off because they tune in every Wednesday. This is my first time tuning in. Now that you guys have the information, save it, and then you can tune in as well every Wednesday around the same time. Um, thank you guys for tuning in and supporting each other. That's all we have. We have right now to, like you said, to keep us sane, watching other people. Not saying we're happy that they're going through it, but just knowing that you're not alone, that you're not crazy. Because at first when this happens, the first instinct is to think I'm crazy, like maybe something is wrong psychologically. But then you come to find out, like, well, how could this happen to somebody else, the same exact thing? So yeah, I've been going through this probably 10 or 8 years now. I lost count after a while. You stop counting because you just keep going through it. But okay, I'm gonna end this live, and like I said, I'm gonna leave my information in the comment box. And if anybody wants to share their story, it does help when you release that negative energy, relate to it, release it in an atmosphere, and try to let bits and pieces of it fade and go, is what healed me. So if anybody want to tell their story, to release it to the atmosphere so other people can share or hear your story, please hit me up. It's been my goal to have more and more people that I can talk to verbally in front of other people so that it would encourage other people to testify as well. You can hide your identity. Like me, you see, I come on there, but I don't really say my full name and all that, even though the people that's targeting me, obviously they have my name and information where I'm at because that's how they're targeting me. But it still keeps me sane, knowing that I'm still trying to keep some of my life private when I am on social media. But I do understand the not wanting to be in the camera. If you go back to my old videos, you will see I wasn't in the camera for a long time, and then finally I put my face on camera because this person kept saying I was lying. That's why I was hiding my face. And I'm like, no, it's just that you don't know who to trust. So you get more scared putting your face out there because you're thinking, like, now that my face out there, everybody going to know exactly who I am. They're not just going to go off on a voice or an assumption. But at this point in my life, I don't care. I feel like I'm covered until God says it's time. So talk to you guys soon. Thank you again. I'm about to end the live. Appreciate y'all.